Good evening, and I welcome all of you who are present here, who are and support our cause at Sankalp. As I stand before you, it's a humbling experience to realize that a small student organization like Sankalp has been able to continue supporting social, economic, and educational causes back in India. The existence of Sankalp is like this tiny, minuscule dot on the world map. Yet, we are able to bring a positive difference to the lives of people in India, one small group at a time. So this reminds me of a poem I read in 5th, 6th grade. I don't particularly remember, but the first 4 lines of this poem made a huge impact in me towards understanding how tiny steps or small actions lead to big successes. So here are the 4 lines. Little drops of water, little grains of sand, make the mighty ocean and the beatific land. Coming back to Sankalp, we can say with pride, I am proud to represent Sankalp and say that we have been relentless in our endeavor to support and add these drops of money and grains of effort to create a beautiful world. Established in 1996, Sankalp has, since these 17 years, we have had absolute 100% clear success in being able to adopt a project and complete it successfully. Then, and beyond also. When I say beyond, it says that we have heard from projects after they have done the time frame of the proposed project. We have got reports that people have used the funding that we have provided to better their lives using the resources that we have been provided. So as part of that, I'm going to present 2 projects which were completed 2 years back, and we got a report from them about how Sankalp has made a difference to those small group of people in Orissa. So one of the projects is the VIRD. In this project, we funded poultry farms. We gave money to buy chickens, and also we trained people to grow vegetables in their backyard kitchens. We helped them buy vegetable seeds, and then we facilitated them to market them. This was a project which finished in 2010. Today, the beneficiaries from that project have been able to use that money from the poultry farms, which they built using Sankalp's money, to benefit, to provide food for them, their daily livelihood, and provide shelter. Beyond that, some of them have been actually able to purchase land for cultivation, which has added to their income. Also, like, the banks have been very happy because these people took loans from the bank and were able to repay it in time. The second project is CDS. For this project, we funded buying goats for them and bicycles. And bicycles, the people in that village wanted a mode of transportation, a cheap mode of transportation, which they can use to sell their goods at the nearest market. And so we gave them bicycles, and like you see, people have gone from 2 goats to 12 goats, and it's like a very good, at least a very good feeling when you see that people have been able to utilize the funds from Sankalp. So these, we can, and also they have been able to construct homes, better homes for themselves. So these 2 projects say that we have been able to provide quality to the lives of people who cannot think beyond basic food for the next day or a good home, good sturdy home. And because of what we could do, what we could provide, thanks to these organizations, these NGO organizations, these people can dream of a better future. So when we talk about projects, you might be saying, okay, how does this happen? How does Sankalp get projects? How are these people contacted by the NGOs? And what goes into the selection of projects? So what happens is sometimes the organizations come to know of Sankalp through some other NGOs and they approach us. And sometimes Sankalp members who have worked in past with some organization come to know that those organizations are seeking funds. So it works both ways. They contact us, we contact them. But once the contact is established, we encourage those organizations to fill in a first contact form, which is provided in the Sankalp website. And this first contact form is basically basic information about the organization, where the project is situated, the affiliation of the organization, the office bearers, and how they have heard of us, and all the basic stuff. Once we are happy with the first information in the first contact form, we encourage them to send the second contact form, which gives a detailed account of their proposed budget, how they want to spend the money in case we funded them, how they are going to spend that money. Also about the demographics of the village, where the money is going to go, and the future of how it's going to affect the lives in the future of that small group of people. So we do that for all the projects. So it's a very tough screening. And once the second contact form is done, we discuss. So like Dr. Manimaran said, every Friday we meet, we discuss. And if we have any questions, we call them or we Skype them. Fortunately, Skype, internet is accessible to little bit, it's more accessible to India, like unlike last 2 years. So we have been able to make contact with the people and we ask questions if we have any questions regarding distribution of funds. Once that's done and we are finally happy with the projects, we go through the voting process where the voters, we send an online list of all the projects giving all the pertaining details, and Sankalp members vote. This basically, it's not yes or no, it's a rating, and they rate upon the preference of the projects. Unfortunately, what happens is all the projects that are screened, it takes a lot of time and effort. It so happens that we do not have as many funds as is required to fund all those projects. So we have to choose the first few, that means the most popular of the projects among the voters, and regrettably, we have to reject the remaining projects, something we are trying to think about. So that's the way we select projects. Last year, we funded 3 projects. So the first project is Mehek. This project is situated in Gujarat, and we funded for buying the equipment to make agarbattis and training women to make agarbattis. Also, this organization has provided means to market the agarbattis. Once the women are trained to make agarbattis, this organization helps them to get loans from the bank so that they can buy machinery and work from home to make agarbattis. And since there is already a well-established market for these agarbattis, these women can successfully establish their business. The second one is Wadi. This is in Madhya Pradesh. Wadi is a Hindi word for fruit orchards. So the situation with this project is it's a drought-prone area. And people have land, but they do not have access to water to cultivate crops. So this organization, this is again a CDS, this is funded by the organization called CDS. What they had proposed was to dig deep bore wells. And the water from those bore wells will provide drinking water to the villagers, as well as to provide water for cultivation for the irrigation of these fruit orchards. So you can see the pictures. We have the storage facility for the water, and then we see that land with pits which are ready to get the fruits saplings. And then the third one, that's the shed for the power, for the pump. Going to the next project, VIRD. This project was funded by last year's Daawat. It was a challenge because this project needed $9,000. It was a humongous amount, and we are very happy to say that last year Daawat was successful in getting that kind of funding for this project. So this project is to support women in a village in Orissa who are socially disadvantaged. They are single women and they have been not accepted into the mainstream of the villages. We do not like to get into the politics, but the fact is these women struggle to be self-sustainable financially. So this project has a plan to train these women to grow vegetables. The land is provided by the village government, local government, and the women cultivate vegetables. We have also provided money to buy goats for these women. So the income from the goats helps in sustaining between crop seasons. The wells that you are seeing, this is the first stage of the project where we had wells dug, and then there is storage of water for vegetable cultivation. So those were the 3 projects that we funded last year, and they have been going on at a very good pace. For this year, we had a very nice response regarding how we got, about the number of projects that we got. So as you can see in the map of India, we have got projects from 6 different states. And the cause of these projects is also varied. So there are educational oriented, like Aram, Bhumi, CSS, and Nirma, they are educational based. Then you have Shanti Dhara, which goes to provide safe accommodation to kids who are going to school. And then we have, sorry, that was Nirman. Then Shanti Dhara is a project to enable people who are visually challenged, actually, to make them financially self-sustainable, self-reliant. Then we have the Snehadeep, and then we have the Deep. I will be talking about them in brief in the next few slides. What we see here is a graph, because we want, like Pranav said, we have been able to generate enough sufficient funds to fund more than 2 projects, which is typically the case. We have had 7 projects which are very dear to us. We have had a lot of projects, but these projects are so difficult to let them go. So we are trying to fund for these 7 projects. So as you see, we have $8,000. We generated $8,000 from football volunteering. And we hope to up that number with Daawat to 13,800. Now, this is a very modest expectation. We don't want to go beyond what we should. So this is a very modest expectation of $13,800 once we get funds from the Daawat. But in total, the cumulative amount that we need to fund these 7 projects is actually $21,340. So we have that huge deficit of what we have or what we are expecting to get and what we actually need to fund these 7 projects. And that deficit is actually $7,540, big amount, but not an impossible amount. So we have been approached in the past by members of the faculty and alumni where they have expressed their wish to fund projects. So they have been aware that we have been forced to reject projects because of the lack of funds, and they have expressed that they can fund those projects. So this year, you have the opportunity to take up a project and fund it. So you can either adopt a project where you can do all the groundwork in addition to providing the money, or if you think that you do not have time or the expertise to manage a project, Sankalp can do that if you can fund that project. So that's adopt or fund the project. And if you do that, if you take even 2 projects, we can do the remaining 5 projects. We can fund the remaining 5 projects. So that's what is out on the table for you. So the projects in brief. The first one is Aram. This project is in Maharashtra, and the beneficiaries of this project would be kids living in slum areas in Navi Mumbai. So we also want to make sure that once these kids are in school, we want to discourage the dropout. In India, like Dr. Manimaran said, it's a tendency of the households which have very less income to send their kids to work rather than go to school. So we want to discourage that practice and encourage kids to finish their schooling, at least basic schooling. The second project is Bhumi. This project is across 6 different cities, but basically it's about enabling educational opportunities to kids in orphanages and slum areas. The next project is from Center for Social Services, and this is for educating girls, specifically girls who come from economically backward families or who are orphans. But this current proposal from this organization, it's just 10 girls. So we are hoping to fund this and make a difference to those 10 girls. Deep is situated in Himachal Pradesh, and this is about training elderly people, our senior citizens, in making pickles and sauces using locally provided raw material. So this project will be benefiting 30 people. Nirman is situated in Hyderabad, and so this is one of those new modern things, like it's a helpline for kids, for students who want to have information for higher education or who want to have information about what education opportunities or career opportunities they might have. So they can call these helplines and get information. So to have that, they needed a VHL library, and they are seeking funds from Sankalp to establish that VHL library. Shantidhara is again in Andhra Pradesh. It's in Visakhapatnam, and I should not say that, but this is one of my favorite projects. This is about a house where kids live. Now, these kids live in neighboring villages where they do not have schools. So this house is actually providing them an opportunity to go to school. The kids live in the house, and everything is provided to them, including tuition, food, shelter, protection, clothing, everything, books. And unfortunately, over the years, the house has gone into major repairs, and they do not have funds to do repairs for that house. So we have been approached to fund that, fund the repairs for that house. 40 children are living in that house. Snehadeep is in Karnataka, and this is what I can say is this is about a person who is visually challenged and who is working at a manager level in a bank. And what he wants to do is he wants to enable visually challenged people to go beyond basic minimum wage salaried jobs. What usually happens is visually challenged people do get education, but when comes time to get a job, they are not able to do so because their skill sets are not sufficient enough to perform well in a job. So this project is about providing training in a software program where people can read. There is a way where they can read, and people who have been associated and benefited from this organization are working in banks and other organizations, and they are at a very respectable position. So again, this project does make an impact in a big way to people who are visually challenged. It actually gives hope to those people. At this point, I would like to tell a small story to you. A man is on a beach, and he sees a girl bending and picking up a starfish and putting it back into the ocean. So he comes to the girl, and he sees that there are a lot of starfish spread across, stranded on the beach, lots and lots and lots. And so this girl is picking one starfish at a time and putting it back into the ocean. And he asks, what are you trying to do? And she says, I am trying to put the starfish back into the ocean. And he says, what difference does it make? You cannot help all these. And so she picks up one starfish, puts it in the ocean. She says, I made difference to that starfish. So I want you, all of you, to pick up one starfish project. You can see the starfish on each of the slides. So I want you to pick up one starfish, put it back into the ocean, and make a difference. If you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you very much.